This dimension is weird. Fire, fire, flame, flame, flame.
So then, it appears that I have managed to make my magic work for, interdimensional travel into the 8th dimension. Nice to know. So anyways, speaking of the 8th dimension, today's movie actually has the 8th dimension mention its title, because today we are watching The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension. Where to begin with this movie? Even the actors in this film, when they were making it, when trying to explain what they were making, they even had to take a very long time to try and relay what on earth it is that they're doing. But I think I can summarize Buckaroo Banzai quite well. I've been into reviewing and shortening up things for long enough, I think I can actually get this down. So here we go. The main focus is a character named Buckaroo Banzai. This man was born of an American mother and a Japanese father, and he is a man that can't stand still. He is a skilled surgeon, a very craftful musician, a rocket scientist, and a protector of the world. This man has his hands in everything. And in particular, in this movie, we are mostly focusing on the fact that Buckaroo Banzai finally finished the work that his parents died trying to do, which was making a vehicle that can go through the 8th dimension, which is to go into an object and actually see through to the other side. But shortly after Buckaroo Banzai has managed to travel through the 8th dimension, there is a mad scientist who used to work with his parents and the fellow scientists that helped him finish the vehicle, and this particular scientist is actually possessed by what is called a red proton. The red protons are actually an alien race from the 10th planet via the 8th dimension. And essentially, the red protons want to get back to the planet in the 8th dimension on planet 10. But they lack the ability to actually access the 8th dimension, which Buckaroo Banzai has now just created and has caused their more militant sides to show as they wish to pursue their chance to get back home and possibly destroy the black electrons, or the black protons. I keep mixing up, they're called protons. But essentially they want to try and get back to the planet and destroy the other race. Obviously, these are a race of horrible, deplorable people who will even kill humans on a whim, if necessary, to try and get their gains. In the long and the short of it, they try several attempts to try and steal the device that allows Buckaroo Banzai to travel through the dimensional holes. He refrains from giving them information even after kidnapping his new love interest, who resembles very closely to his now deceased wife, and manages to both save her life and stop the red protons from using their own variant with the missing information that they needed to make the trip to the 8th dimension, and destroys them, and also stops the black protons from trying to make a destroy the world ceasefire in order to stop the red protons from coming back. So after saving the world, making friends with the black protons, stopping the more sinister side of the red protons, and protecting the universe at large as well as our own planet, Buckaroo Banzai just goes back down to Earth and prepares for whatever adventures will happen to him next time. As we are also promised that the next time will be against the World Crime League. Too bad that didn't happen. Sounds interesting though. Of course, again, what I'm doing here is summarizing very briefly. Buckaroo Banzai is a very advanced movie. It hits a lot of different chords. It hits some horror themes, some science fiction themes in particular with the alien protons from the 10th planet. It hits action, lots of really decent action sequences, some flying spaceships. We got spy stuff going on, science stuff going on, romance stuff going on. It's just this huge, highly imaginative thing. And while it's really hard to try and single focus everything, what you do get is a very fun, energetic romp that goes everywhere and hits all the chords that you would want a movie like this to hit. I would say, however, that this movie does suffer from one thing, and that's from movie time syndrome. What I'm saying is that up until, I want to say, the early 2000s, movies, for whatever reason, for the most part, outside of maybe big classics like Star Wars, were limited to about an hour and a half, and that's where you need to end it pronto, chop chop today. If you didn't do that, you were technically considered a failure, but again, one of the few movies that broke that rule was Star Wars. And as time has gone on, they've continued to break that rule for almost all modern movies now at this point. Buckaroo Banzai suffered from this because there was actually a lot of tie-in and background stuff that was chopped away, and also took away a lot of the meanings and connections between things in this film. Essentially, what they were making were not only references for the World Crime League, as they were going to appear in the next movie, but also the World Crime League, and in particular its leader, is very important to Buckaroo Banzai's past, as this man was responsible not only for sabotaging the death of his parents, but also he is the man responsible directly for murdering his wife within a few hours after their wedding. So there's a lot of stuff there that got completely chopped away, and certain scenes don't feel quite right because of how much was taken away from it. So with that being said, it's not perfect, but it was damn close. And I think the one thing that affected it outside of the chopping away at the movie was also the lacking budget. There was effects that, again, even I can do on a simple computer that rival and even surpass some of the stuff they were doing, except for maybe the model work. But despite any major flaws that you could maybe poke holes into in this movie, there are a couple of certain things that this movie I can tell you about, that make you forget any of the major holes and issues in this movie. 1. It's very entertaining. 2. It's actually somewhat of a smart movie. It even tries to explain the science behind some of the weirder, stranger stuff, and does so while actually looking and sounding fairly intelligent and making at least some semblance of sense. And number 3 is that it's such an energetic ball of everything happening at once that you'll never be bored for a moment in this movie. And if there is a moment of slow dialogue, it's because it's important, and it won't waste your time. It'll be quick and to the point. Buckaroo Banzai is an experience I've been dragging my feet on, and I don't know why. And now that I've actually finally seen it, I'm aghast at the fact that I haven't seen this sooner. This was more than a worthwhile adventure, and I can't wait until the rumors of upcoming projects actually turn into actual physical video for us, because right now, the creators of Buckaroo Banzai and the production house holders are in the middle of a feud. I don't care which side wins, as long as one side actually gets the property to Buckaroo Banzai and does it some justice and gets it going again. Buckaroo Banzai is a fantastic movie that needs a new breath of fresh air into the modern era to be brought back to everyone. Because pretty much anything that Buckaroo Banzai predicted came true. In particular, that comic books are still a thing. And that they are some of our greatest heroes. Buckaroo Banzai in this movie is a comic book hero, and he actually relays some of his exploits within said comics. And as a matter of fact, Buckaroo Banzai has been continuing in comics for decades now. Funny little thing. Anyways, if you have not seen Buckaroo Banzai, you like 80s cheese, you like flashy sci-fi, you like action and adventure, Buckaroo Banzai, believe me, is the movie for you. But enough of the lollygagging around here, monkey boy. It's time to get back to some more experimentations. I will see you all next time. What is that? Oh, just an alien craft. Must be passing through. They must have detected the energy. We're little aliens from the 10th planet, via the 8th dimension. You're not going to find me. My power source is very, very well hidden. And no one's gained my secrets. See you all next time. I feel like I got hair in my eye, and this is the reason why you can't wear makeup with this mask on. Because as soon as that happens, you're just nothing but waterworks.